Welcome back to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest running sales training podcast history. I'm Bill Caskey.
Bryan, Neale here.
I had somebody I saw at Starbucks the other day come up to me, and I knew them and they're podcast listeners. And they said, how's that longest running sales podcast and podcast history going? I'm like, you're a good student, brother.
You always Google, this is not a, I don't know what do you call it? The narcissistic thing or something like that. But I Googled best sales podcast, had a little downtime traveling for football. Mm-hmm. And you know how Google will give you the answer you're looking for, and then it suggests other questions. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So if I Google Bill Caskey, then it'll say, who is Bill Caskey's wife? What is Bill Caskey's net worth? How old's Bill? Mm-hmm. In the suggestion questions from the best sales podcast, best podcast for salespeople, it said, what is the longest running sales podcast? And I clicked on it. It was one sentence. It said, the Advanced Selling Podcast is the longest running sales training podcast.
That's beautiful.
Steph goes, you guys have branded that phrase really well. Even Google's picking it up. So anyway, sorry.
16 years, 4,000 episodes. That's good. Hey, if you have not downloaded this document, I'm going to show you here. It's called Insider Secrets, 10 Profound Secret Strategies from the ASP Insider Membership. Make sure you do. It's in the show notes. I'm showing it up here for those who are watching us on YouTube. It's in the show notes, the link. It's free. Just pop in your email, and it's a 10-page document. It's got 10 really good ideas and how to execute them. And these are things that came from the Insider program. We hope that you'll consider registering and enrolling in it once you see this, because I think you'll see how meaningful and vital it is for people who want to grow their business in the future.
Fantastic. So, that's a good document. Document.
Yeah, it is good.
You know who's on LinkedIn now? See who joined LinkedIn over the weekend?
No.
Personal brand development person, new to LinkedIn. Any ideas? Should be obvious. I'm kidding.
No, I don't know.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, did he?
Snoop Dogg joined LinkedIn instantly. He's on there for 3 days. Got 2 million followers already. Yeah. Gonna do personal branding. Yeah. Did a little post. He goes, to be honest, I didn't know LinkedIn even existed. I'm like, okay, really? Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Yeah, he's very active on Instagram. Yeah. Snoop is phenomenal to follow on Instagram.
Yeah.
But he's going to be using it for personal branding. I think that's great.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Topic today. Cadence or not cadence. That's the topic. To cadence or not cadence. To do a sales cadence. And this topic came from a survey I was asked to do to get a piece of content sort of thing, kind of a bribe. And I'm taking this little quiz, and it all asked me about my sales cadence. How long, how many emails, when a phone call, how do you stop it? Is it automated? And that got me thinking, and I know we have sales cadences here, but I'm sort of removed from all that. But me personally, when I sell, I don't use a sales cadence. You know what I mean? I just do what we teach. I try to find warm connections to people and start conversations and let them go where they go. And I'm like, am I the dumb one? And I know, again, we have one as a company, but I'm not privy to, and we don't run it all the time. It's not that mechanical. And then some people are just off the hook. Cadence is scientific, obsessed with the math and the automation. Yeah. So I wanted to pose that question to you, Bill, get your thoughts and ideas around sales cadence. Should we have one? Shouldn't we? What should be in there? What shouldn't be in there? Your thoughts, and I'll give mine too.
Yeah, I just don't like the obsession with them that I see a lot of times from so-called experts in the industry and coaches, people who do what we do similar, and they just think it's all about the cadence. Here's what I do think it is. I think there's always a cadence or a process that you go through once someone becomes familiar with you or your product, or maybe they hit a website, or maybe they download something. Then I think it makes sense to say, okay, what's the first email that I want to send? I don't want to send let's book a call, let's have coffee. If you just downloaded something from me. The same with LinkedIn. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, and like so many people I know, you've experienced it. Hey, would love to get together sometime. I don't even know you, and I'm sure that this get together is a sales process.
That's funny.
And it's like, come on, you can do better than that. I mean, why don't you send me something or just say, hey, how's it go? Although I won't answer those, because sometimes I get that too. Tell me how your business is going. Oh, well, let me shift about an hour out of my schedule and let me answer that for you.
What are you working on right now?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. So I think the cadence in the process comes after an action is taken, before you ask for an appointment, or before anything meaningful happens. I think there's emails and videos and things like that could happen.
See, and that's I love that you said that, because to me, in all things, above all else, to me, all processes should be geared around the client and making their life better off, having good intention behind it. So ask myself and ask yourself, if you're running a cadence, is this cadence making the life of the person who's the target of the cadence better? Is it better? Is it better for you to send me an email saying, we've helped, I just helped a coach last week book $30,000 in revenue. Would you like to talk? And it's the 8th email you sent me in a cadence. I keep all these now to watch them work, and these people are missing my business. I don't even do that, but just because it says coaching in my LinkedIn profile.
That's how they found you.
And there's nothing of value in there. It's, I helped this person get 30,000. Would you want that? That's not valuable to me. Show me something that I'm not doing.
That's right.
Here's a little trick of the trade that I helped, that I employed. You can have this one for free. This is on me. Cut this video, send it to this person.
I love it. I don't think we do that. I don't think we do that well enough. That idea that if I'm going to, let's say that I am a guy who can help your company get from A to Z. A is where you currently reside. Z is like your ideal. Let's say you want to go from $20 million to $100 million.
Yep.
I would be okay giving you B and C, because B and something that helps you get to B and C is not going to help you get to Z, but at least it fortifies the relationship a little bit. It says, okay, this Caskey, this Neale dude, they can help me. Look at what they've given me. And I employed it, and look what it did. I wonder what else they have. I think we've got to be thinking in that way, rather than having all of our stuff be so close to the vest that we never share anything with a prospect until they buy from us. I just feel like that's not the way business is done today. There's too much free information out there for you to be holding everything close to the vest.
Gosh, that's so good. That's the problem. And why are we doing that? Because we have all of the tools now. We have a TV studio, we have microphones, we have broadcast channels. We can share so much stuff, and it's not giving it away. I just pulled one up just for the heck of it. I went into my inbox. So I'm in a cadence. I'm the target, totally cold, starting August 9th. Not even going to mention the thing. Here, though, first, I barely read these, but first one. Hey, Bryan, apologies for the cold email. I'll keep this brief. 2-sentence paragraph, 4-sentence paragraph, 4-sentence paragraph, 1-sentence paragraph. Happy to share some ideas if you're interested. There's one. There's nothing valuable in that whatsoever in that one. Here's the second one. Reason our company specializes in helping coaches. The e-commerce niched over $2 million in sales. This is the person did that. No, not valuable to me at all. I can appreciate you're very busy. Here's the next one. This is 2 days later. Just wanted to bump this to the top of your inbox. Would you be interested in hearing more about this?
Top.
If you're not the right person to speak with, and please feel free to forward this email on. That was
nothing of value. Nothing of value. It's all pleading. Pleading for you to call. Please call me.
Next one. I noticed I haven't heard back from you. Wondering if perhaps now isn't the best time for you to consider acquiring more clients. Give me something, and maybe we'll talk. There's nothing in there valuable. Nothing. There's a 5-step cadence so far. I'm interested to see where it goes next, because I just
don't we all. I do get those. I do get those. Usually, it's about being on the podcast.
Yes,
this one or mine. Usually there's that. You probably get those same ones. And I got one about a week ago that said something like, I really enjoy your podcast, especially the last one. And they didn't really say what the last one was. Not that I would remember, but anyway, they didn't really say. But then later on it said, I love your, and it had insert topic here. They literally did not change the template, the field instruction. And it's like, oh, there's somebody I want to have on the podcast, huh? Yeah.
I just don't. And again, what's behind all this is the science of it.
That's right.
You can't science this stuff to that degree. Yes. Over time, I feel like it does more harm than good.
Yeah.
And I think of all the effort that went, because all these emails need to be written. All the cadence stuff has to be written or produced in some way, shape, or form. So instead of producing this series of 8 emails that don't do anything but piss people off, why don't you spend the same amount of time, 2 videos, giving me a specific tool that any coach can use and employ, to try to get a new client.
That's a winner. Right? That's the idea of the day right there. I know this is going to be a relatively short podcast, but if you're listening and you're looking for the big idea, that's it. Take the time that you would maybe and maybe not, but if you've ever done email writing, it does take some time. You got to think. Doesn't sound like this dude took any time, but
yes.
But take that time and reapportion it into creating something that you could send to somebody that would really improve their life. It would get them from point A to point B. Just think about that spectrum from A to Z. Just say, what can I do to get them from point A to point B or C? And it could be a video, it could be a checklist, it could be sending them an article.
Yes.
There's lots of, it's an infinite assortment of choices.
Yes.
And it's kind of what we talked about last week when we talked about lead generation and how do you create content that moves the needle, that moves them along the process. And this is what we're kind of back to again today.
Yes. Give the tool away. Give it away. You don't have to give it all away, not all your tools away that you get paid for, but give a couple, because that's like, that's like a drug thing. You give me a tool that works really well. I'm like, where do I get more of these things?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I wonder if you can ever give it all away. Like,
no,
I don't
know.
Because how many times have you gotten a call from a CEO or VP of sales and they say, hey, listen, I listened to the podcast, I've watched you, or I've followed you. Yeah. I need this from my people, because what's happening is they're going to their people saying, hey, you ought to listen to the Advanced Selling Podcast, and they're not. And so then they resort to calling you or I and saying, hey, come on, man, we need to have you. So you can't give it away. It's like the more you give away, the more comes back to you. Yes. And it's just kind of that law of compensation.
It's like sending an IKEA, dresser in the box without the instructions. A few people on earth can figure out how to put it together, but most of the people need the instructions. Then there's me, who will pay some dude $150 extra to put it together for me.
Put it together. Yeah.
And that's what people do. Some people need that. And some people need that from us, and that's what I think. So if you do Cadence, go back and review your Cadence and say, is every single email valuable to the person getting it?
Yeah.
And it's not, and telling me that you helped the coach close $30,000 last week isn't valuable.
No, because I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
No.
You've given me nothing to trust.
Yeah. And that might be like a fifth of a normal contract for us. So it's almost worse. If you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, I helped the guy find 2 new clients. I'm like, we find 2 a day. We don't. I'm just throwing that out. I'm just
right.
Got to be careful spitting things out like that too.
Yeah.
Anywho, okay,
I think that's
good. Go join Insider. Go see us in the LinkedIn group. There's close to 13,000 people there now.
Yep.
And we're sneaking up on our 17th anniversary, Bill.
17th anniversary. I just heard a stat the other day, and then we'll close it out. I heard that 90% of new podcasters don't make it past episode 3.
Wow.
And of the 10% that do make it past episode 3, 90% of them never make it past episode 20.
There it is.
So if you do 21 episodes of a podcast, you are in the top 1% of people who have started podcasts.
Wow.
So I don't think we ever, back when it was 20, 30 episodes, I don't think we ever said, let's quit. It's not working. No. I don't think we ever had that vibe. But after 1,800 or 16 or whatever it is, maybe we're approaching the top 1%. I don't know.
How many do we have? 17 times 50? It's like 900. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's over 1,000. It's
fun to go back to the first episodes. We'll have to do that. We'll have to have an anniversary show, 17th anniversary.
Yeah,
show. Like
September.
Cicadas.
It's coming up.
Yeah, no, it's coming up. It's real tight.
And we should have a gift box where you can get your friends and neighbors old recordings.
Little ASP 17-year Cicadas, 17-year anniversary of the old Advanced Selling Podcast. Okie dokie. I can't make a cicada noise.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay, bye.